The Warriors have honestly just been embarrassing this season. And this game might just be one of the worst games that I've seen from them this entire time. Because although they only ended up losing by 2, this loss meant a lot more. The Warriors are now 10-12, which is officially outside of the play-in tournament, meaning that the Rockets are even better than them. In this game, Steph of course had to have a masterclass, and Kuminga dropped a ridiculous 23-12. And yes, they still lost the game, believe it or not. And this happened, some people say it happened because of the 29 turnovers that the Warriors had, while some people might blame Steve Kerr's coaching because it wasn't good this game. However, I just think that it's the team itself. Because honestly, this team is just really, really bad. Look, running it back might have worked for the past 8-9 seasons where they've won 4 championships, my bad. But honestly, I don't think it's working anymore. The guys are getting too old. And we just can't sustain this. Steph Curry is still playing absolutely ridiculously, but we all know that he can't just hold this level of play for a while. Klay had honestly a stinky game, while Wiggins was nowhere to be found at all. He was seriously just very, very bad, and Kuminga took over his role for most of the game. Meanwhile, Draymond had an alright game, but it's Draymond. He's always going to have an alright game. Moses Moody was also benched for a lot of the game, and he's probably one of the most valuable Warrior trade pieces. If I would rank the most valuable Warrior trade pieces, I actually wouldn't do it like that. I would rank it by the players that the Warriors are the least likely to trade. I think at the top, you have to have Steph and Draymond. The Warriors would not trade Steph Curry if everyone in that organization's life was on the line. And Draymond Green is honestly just a package deal with Steph. There's no Steph without Draymond, and there's no Draymond without Steph. Because basically Draymond has no value to anyone but the Warriors. Then we have Moody and Brandon Podziemski. I think that this is really interesting because Moody has been playing phenomenally this season, while Podziemski has honestly been one of the best rookies in this entire class. Then, a tier below that, Kevon Looney and Kuminga. I feel like Kuminga's tonight's game, this might be his season all-time high value, and the Warriors would be good to trade him right now. But at the very same time, they don't have to trade him. He's a young guy, and unless the Warriors are going all in now, which I think would be a good plan, Kuminga will have good value to everyone in the league. So yeah, that's pretty good. After that, you have Klay and Trayce Jackson-Davis. Trayce Jackson-Davis, TJD, I'm going to be calling him, has been absolutely violated by this Warriors organization. He's gotten basically no minutes every night because of Steve Kerr, who's actually just a horrible coach. And it just hasn't looked good for him, and it doesn't look like he has much room to grow. Then you have Klay. Klay's a really interesting one because obviously he's a big part of the original Big Three. However, I think that the Warriors need to part with those sentimental values, and I think that's a good part of the reason of why Bob Myers left, because he didn't want to have to kick everyone out, He just wanted to live his life and have everyone in that Warriors organization like him. So he left, but now Klay needs to get traded. He still holds value, and the Warriors don't need him at all. He's a really, really bad player for them. After that, you have Dario Saric. I think he's on a column below. And honestly, Saric has just Yeah, he's been really good, but he's Dario Saric. I don't have anything to say about that. Then you have everyone else on the team, and below everyone else on the team, you have CP3. Because not only will no one trade for CP3, but he also possesses literally negative value for the Warriors. He's useless. He's worse than bad on that team because he slows down the tempo. And honestly, I got the idea that they were trying to do with not the two timelines, but the two different lineups with two different play styles. It doesn't work at all. It just doesn't work, and the Warriors need to move away from that. So now what you've all been waiting for, some possible trade scenarios. One scenario that I really liked was flipping Klay for Zach LaVine. Now, this one might sound a bit weird, but basically Klay Thompson would be going to the Lakers. Rui Hachimura and a pick would be going to the Bulls, and Zach LaVine would be going to the Warriors. Now, all teams would agree on this because it adds something that they need to every single team. The Warriors would obviously much rather have Zach LaVine than Klay Thompson. The Bulls, I mean, they're rebuilding at this point. They might as well take Rui and a pick. There's not much more to ask for. And the Lakers need a shooter, and they desperately have needed a shooter for a while. So this trade fills out that gap for them, and honestly, it'll just be perfect. Or there's another trade that's also interesting, and this one is trade for Pascal Siakam. However, this does require getting rid of Kuminga, which is a bit of a scary thought. But it would basically be Pascal Siakam for Kuminga, CP3, 2 second-round picks, which are protected top 5, and if it doesn't convey, they get 4 first-round picks, which is kind of crazy. Now, attempting to improve the Warriors via a trade is really annoying because of the limitations. Like, emotionally, you have such a strong connection to this core, and also functionally because the salaries are really, really weird on that team. Going for Siakam isn't the perfect solution. Like, the Warriors might just prefer flipping Andrew Wiggins and 2 firsts for OG Anunoby and Otto Porter Jr., but I feel like the Raptors would be less likely to do that deal, while the one that I just said, they do seem very likely to do. So honestly, it'll just be interesting to see what happens. You know, maybe they just keep everyone and they try to run it back. And I watch every game this season and watch them lose every game this season, and it's just sad. They make the play-in tournament where they're just below 500, and they'll probably lose in the semifinals. That's just my prediction, guys. I really hope that the Warriors make a trade before that. Like the video, please.